What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Comeback Sports. That's right, it's a 10-topic show where we discuss all the current agendas in sports across the country, across the globe. We've got another jam-packed show for you today. A lot going on across the sports world, folks. My name is Pat the Shot Caller Flaherty, and I am joined, as always, by my partner, Brendan the Coach Perry. Brendan, how you doing today, my friend?
Doing good, Pat. Another exciting week in sports. And honestly, we could probably have 20 topics on this show. There's just not enough time.
Oh, there's so much. A lot happened today, too. So we're probably going to be loaded for next week as well, for all the stuff that's going on over the next couple of days. It's just a crazy time. March is nuts. March and April, I feel like, are two of the craziest.
March Madness.
And obviously, March Madness is going to be at the very beginning of this show. There's so much going on there. Before we get going, folks, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, our Twitter handles are down there. And also go on YouTube and subscribe to Comeback Sports. If you're watching the show, you're probably already there now. Make sure you give us a subscription and also check out all the different cut-ups of the shows that we've done in the past. We've got a lot of different topics that we've discussed in sports, NFL, NBA. Got a lot of good Formula One stuff. Brandon is a Formula One expert. We also got golf. We got a lot of different stuff. So make sure you check that stuff out. But today, of course, we're going to be kicking things off with NCAA March Madness, the NCAA tournament. And, man, we missed this last year because this year this tournament has been friggin' awesome. It's been great to watch, just sitting at home. A lot of us are still sitting at home, trying to social distance. And this has been so much fun to check out this year. And a lot of upsets and a lot of different surprises in the tournament. So, Brendan, just to start off, what's probably your favorite upset or favorite crazy thing that happened in the tournament over the first weekend?
I'd have to say, Sister Jean's team with the big upset there. I think that's probably the biggest upset so far. But then I'd also have to say Ohio State going down and Ohio State losing so early. I don't think many of us were expecting that. And then I think one of the most exciting parts for me was the other day with Arkansas's comeback. Arkansas with a comeback win to get into the Sweet 16. I think that was pretty amazing. Michigan still holding strong, go blue. And Gonzaga still, looking like the number one seed and number one team that they are. So there's been a lot of exciting things in this tournament, and I've been surprised, honestly, for having it all in one city. I still think it's been so amazing. I think the NCAA has done a great job with, obviously we're on the next topic. They've done a poor job, but on this topic, I think they have done a good job with having the men's tournament in the one city and even having the women's tournament in the one city in San Antonio. But, having the tournament under COVID conditions, I think there was only one game so far, I think, that I've seen that was affected by a positive test. So that was good. So I think they're doing a good job, isolating the players and isolating the teams. But, yeah, there's been some really exciting basketball, and I think that's what the fans have been really waiting for, especially since, like you said, we missed out on it last year big time.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, too, is, as awesome as it is to have a ton of fans in a packed gym for a basketball game at any level, where it's high school, college, or the pros, it's still so intense watching these games. It's possession by possession. There's so many good games. You're right about Loyola Chicago, man. They looked so good in their game against Illinois. They were a well-oiled machine. And Illinois is really good. They're a one seed. So just to see them there, they could make a deep run, no question. Ohio State losing it killed my bracket. And also, Illinois killed my bracket. So I don't think I'm winning any of the ones that I participated in. But, yeah, that was awesome. And then seeing Oral Roberts go in 2 rounds and get into the Sweet 16. Again, there's always one of those Cinderella teams. Oral Roberts looks like one of those teams this year. But there's, the other thing, too, is, I know that you and Coach Duarte, who we had on last week, which was awesome, both of you guys talked about Oregon and how good Oregon was going to be. The surprise that they were a 7th seed. That proved to be absolutely 100% true. They had an easy go of it against, actually VCU was actually that game that got suspended. Or Oregon was able to make it to the next round because VCU had the COVID issues, which sucks. It just sucks that team had to do that. Their coach obviously was very disappointed. But then Oregon in the second round goes up against Iowa. You're like, these guys going to be rusty. They haven't played the game in, over a week. And then they're playing against this Iowa team that's been great all year. They have probably the player of the year in Luke Garza. So, but Oregon looks awesome. I mean, Oregon looks like another team that could definitely get to the Final Four as a 7th seed. So just seeing the parity and how level these teams are this year. I mean, Gonzaga's looks great, but there's a lot of really good teams that could make it to the Final Four, and I think it's anybody's game right now. So that's one of the best parts for me in that first weekend.
Yeah, I think to your point, I think this is one of those tournaments where anybody could win it at this point. And I think those upsets have kind of proven it early, where you've had a lower seed already take out a high seed that was not expected. So I think, and that's the greatest part about March Madness and the tournament. You lose that one time and you're out. And it's win or go home. So I think, yeah, this is definitely a tournament where anybody could win. And I know Coach Duart's going to want me to bring up, he was texting me consistently every time one of his teams won, telling me about that. And I want to tell you that he specifically texted me about Oregon and said that at least has to get him on another show because he called that one right. So I was laughing. Me and him had a couple of good conversations about the bracket. But yeah, his bracket's still looking kind of strong at the moment. But I think you brought up another great team that nobody expected in Oral Roberts. They're looking really good right now, and I could definitely see them making a Cinderella push along with Loyola of Chicago. But I still think you have to look out for Michigan, and I still think you have to look out for Gonzaga. And those two might meet because they're on the same side of the bracket. So I'm looking forward to that going forward.